Perhaps you've known someone who's always seeking for an angle. They're always scheming for something. So every time they say, hey, would you like to make $10? You're thinking, what's in it for you? I think there's a little bit of that in all of us. When you come to the story of Jacob, Jacob's family was a family of schemers. Now, this is also a family of faith, and you can see this battle played out throughout the book of Genesis. That is living by faith and living by strong-arming your way through life. That is by scheming. Someone has said that faith is living without scheming. So in Genesis 27, you have the story of two parents, Isaac and Rebekah, and their two favorite sons. For Isaac, his favorite son was Esau. For Rebekah, her favorite son was Jacob. And both of them wished for their favorite son to receive the special birthright and blessing that was coming to the eldest. And the Bible says in Genesis 27:1, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son. And basically he plans to give Esau the birthright and the blessing. Now, he did this without the apparent knowledge of Rebekah. That is, Rebekah found out because she had ears in the house. But he did not tell his wife. He should have. This should have been a public banquet. It should have been a public event. It should have been like a graduation, a special occasion. But it was not. It was something that he did surreptitiously, which is to say secretly. In Genesis 25:23, God made it very clear that the elder would serve the younger. So Isaac knew this. He knew what God had said, but he wanted to thwart God's plan, God's will. And so he used deception in order to thwart, to mess up God's plan. The Bible says in verse 6, and Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother. And she hatches this plan where, because of the intel she had, while Esau was out hunting for venison so his father could have a personal banquet and bless him, Jacob, in the meantime, would have a plot where he would come in to his aging, nearly blind father, pass himself off as Esau, and receive, by deception, the blessing that his father intended to give to Esau. So you have Isaac scheming to thwart God's plan, and you have Rebekah scheming to fulfill God's plan. Now look, one had a good end in mind, one had a bad end in mind, but both of them were doing the same thing. Both of them were scheming instead of trusting God. Now friend, you've got to decide today whether you can do the right thing in the right way or whether you're going to try to do the right things in your own way, in which case it's not the right thing anymore. That's exactly what happened here. Esau comes in, he uses hair that was not his own to make him feel like he was his brother Esau, who was a hairy man. He wore Esau's garments to smell like Esau. He brought food to make it taste like the venison that Esau was going to bring. And he deceived his father. He has some misgivings about this when he says, I shall seem to him as a deceiver. Well, you think? You'll seem like a deceiver? You are a deceiver. And your mom is a deceiver. And your father is a deceiver. And the whole family was scheming to get their own way. Ironically, Rebekah says, look, don't worry about this. Upon me will be your curse. Well, that wasn't hers to decide. That curse that came was upon the whole family, including Jacob. Jacob ends up fleeing for his life because Esau wanted to kill him. And Rebekah says, ironically, to Jacob as he's about to flee, now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise, flee thou to Laban my brother. That's like fleeing a bear and falling off a cliff. The deceiver was about to be deceived by his uncle Laban. The trickster was about to be tricked. The liar was about to be lied to. And this was something that Jacob endured to some extent his entire life. In fact, when he was the aging, nearly blind father, his sons lied to him about their brother Joseph. And they used the exact same thing that Jacob used in his deceit. They used a kid of the goats to help with their deception. What's my point? My point is that the right thing can always rely on the right way to please God. In short, the truth will win in the end. I don't know what choices you have today. It may be that you feel you have to be less than honest in order to accomplish a good end. Can I just remind you that both blessing and cursing are wrapped up in the way we treat the truth, the way we treat others, and the way we try to accomplish even the good things in life. So take heart, be encouraged. Sometimes it's a long game in which we are involved, but the truth always wins in the end.